You guys are setting the pace of play today, so anything under 2 hours would be brilliant. Next event at Bolton's been cancelled, just for information, so the spaces are available at Howley Hall in 2 weeks' time. So it'll be Nick to go first, then Thomas.
Cool. Okay, I've got one with a black line.
Okay, good morning everybody, and welcome to Rockcliffe Hall Golf Club and the 2020 Pro Tour. This is the Golf Travel People Masters, and this is the 9 o'clock tee time. First to play, Nick Marsh. Next on the tee, Thomas Rowland. And final on the tee, Doug Dinwiddie.
I actually see that down, but you normally get them. Yeah, it's bound. Did it bound? Yeah. Normally not that bad.
Thanks, John. Play audience.
Thanks, Jack.
Right, so good morning everybody, hello and welcome to Rockcliffe Hall. It's the 2020 Pro Tour, we're straight back in action. Of course we were at the Belfry yesterday for the Challenge Tour, now we're here with the 2020 Pro Tour. It's the GPT Trio Part 3, that's the Golf Travel People Part 3, and there's a lot on the line today. It's the third major of the year so far. Now, I'm delighted to say we're joined by a very special guest. Yes, he's back by popular demand. He's dug a tunnel all the way through the earth to come up from Australia. Is Aaron Cox. Aaron, my good friend.
G'day, mate.
It's
How you
good
going?
Oh, I'm very well. I feel like I haven't seen you for ages, though it hasn't actually been that long. How have you been?
Mate, I've been really good. I just had a couple of weeks off and getting back into it now for the last push at the back end of the season, and then winter hits us.
You're touring a bit of Scotland, I hear. Is that right?
Yeah, a couple of days off up in Scotland. Not playing golf.
No.
Just sparring up pretty much.
But you
Sitting
are.
in a jacuzzi.
You are playing golf today.
I
You're
am
playing here a little
yes.
bit later out.
Yeah, later on. Yep.
What time are you out? Is it
10:50. I tee off.
10:50 today. Obviously,
Yes.
we're going to catch that as well. Well, let's talk Rockcliffe Hall.
Yes.
Talk the first. It looks so inviting here. It really does. So, what are we expecting to go? We've seen driver so far. Obvious choice, right?
Yeah, look, 445 yard par 4 to start with. It's a brutal hole to start with because it's just daunting to look at the wide fairways, but those trees up the left hand side come in. Whether they'll come in today with us being off the black course, 7,200 yards with the breeze here at Rockcliffe. Obviously, my course, Blackwall Grange, is literally around the corner, so the breeze always gets up here. It's a very open golf course. It's kind of a half links, half parkland.
Yeah.
It's a very open style golf course, wide fairways, big greens, big bunkers. So the guys have got to make sure that they hit the fairways, because if you miss the fairway, you've got knee-high rough, or for me, waist-high rough.
And me.
You
yeah,
might lose me out there if I get into that rough.
Very, very good. Very good indeed.
I'll go camouflage out there.
You make a good point around the black course. Now, one of the
Yep.
players stopped me this morning. They said, "You don't know which one we're playing off to." I said, "Off the black tees." He said, "Oh, thank God for that."
Yes.
Because can be over 8,000 yards here.
Well, the gold course, I will double check, but I mean, the gold course, 7,877 yards off the golds. Now, obviously we've had seniors European Tour events here in the past, and obviously this golf course is built perfectly for a European Tour event, you know, and a big professional event. So for us to be here, us being not European Tour players, although you've got Nick McCarthy, you've got Nick Marsh, Euro Pro, Chris Hansen's playing. He just played the Challenge Tour. He played at the Belfry.
He did play at the Belfry. Yes,
and I have to say a big, massive shout out to Chris. I mean, I was at work all weekend, and I was updating every 5 minutes on his scores, and to know Chris through the 2020 Pro Tour, but to watch him, or to even just to watch his scores and know he's playing. It's such a buzz to know someone that's playing in that. Yeah, and obviously Andrew Wilson as well, who's from here, Rockcliffe. So to watch those guys, you watch the scores to see how they're going up and down the leaderboard. It's quite cool.
It is, and of course I must say as well, Challenge Tour yesterday was broadcast live exclusively by us.
Yes, it was.
Get that one in there. There we go.
Yes, absolutely. Did a good job too, Ian.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. No rest, straight up the motorway last night. So here we go. All right, Aaron, we've got a couple of players over here we know. Jack, we'll come to you very shortly. We've got Adam over here as well. Of course, out of Blackwell Grange, just down the road as well, aren't you, Adam? So you should know this place quite well.
I know this place quite well, just mixing it with the pros today. So it's not easy from the back tees, like plays obviously long, so got to hit it well. So that's the plan today.
You've got to hit it well, Aaron.
No birdie-free round today like you did last year.
I was only a couple of bogeys off, so it was solid. It's not the easiest place to make birdies, but yeah, I want to make a few birdies today.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you know, might catch him on camera. You never know. Let's go have a quick word with Jack. So I was just loading up. Of course, it's got to be driver, hasn't it, Jack? It's the only way to go. Only way to go. Look, we're getting into we're in September now. I often wonder this. When do you guys start thinking about next year? Have you already thought about it?
About next year, yeah. I'm going to go Sunshine Tour.
Oh, brilliant. Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to go for it.
Fantastic, that's what I like to hear. So what does the rest of this year then plan for you? We've obviously got a few more 2020 Pro Tour events.
2020, I'm going to go, because I've got Alps card as well, so I'm going to play a couple more on Alps, and then maybe Portugal Tour.
Nice.
Maybe, but we'll see.
Well, if you do go to Portugal and you need a caddy, I'm probably not the best person to do it, but, you know, just like the sun. Best of luck today, Jack. Cheers, mate. Aaron, I need you back. I need you back. Right, I always ask this. I know it's a really difficult question, isn't it? But
Winning score?
Winning score, what's it going to be?
Well, Graham Storm won the last one here, 4 under. Breeze got up. Now we're looking at some good weather. It's very overcast, heavy air at the moment. Ball's not going to travel. Greens have not come back, far come back from a core. Fairways look like they've had a bit of work to them done. So I'm gonna call 5 under.
5 under.
67, mate. I'd be happy to break par.
Yeah,
I know this golf course, so I'm happy to break par.
Okay, so it's hard then.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
70, 200 yards? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. Let's ask the major because a day isn't complete until we've spoken to John. Winning score, Aaron says 5 under. What do you think?
Yeah, I was going to say 4. Because I mean, I played it yesterday with Dan, and you know, even off the yellow tees, it was long enough. Let alone off the blacks here.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys, you know, we've heard of Marshy, so Marshy was driving it to about where we were driving it off the yellows, but even then, it's not easy around here. You know, I mean, I think 4 under would be a really good score. I could see somebody gets the putter going, I could see them doing 7, 8. Yeah. But I think 4 around here today will be a really good score.
The wind's got to stay calmish. If it starts jumping, if that wind starts gusting, especially on the back 9 with those par 5s, the prevailing wind is normally this way, which plays right to left up the first. But coming into the last 3 or 4 holes, you've got a 220-yard par 3 straight into the wind, a 580-yard par 5 into the wind. You've got the 17th at short par 4, but then the 18th wind straight off the left. So that last 4 holes, if the wind gets up,
Card wrecker.
There you go, card wrecker. You heard it here first. I think we're almost getting ready to get this group underway.
Unfortunately, we did see it with Chris the last time we were here. He was 3 or 4 under, and he had a double or a triple on the par 5 16th.
No, I'm sure he'll thank you for reminding of that. Maybe we'll head there later and see how it goes. I was coming down now. I was going to say we're definitely missing a player.
Just counted up. I got to 2.
Well, we only have to get to 3, John. Yeah, I was wondering why actually you were looking at your fry up this morning. You ordered 3 sausages, only got 2. Couldn't work out why.
So of course it's fully open, but there are some drainage works that take place on the 1st, the 17th and the 18th. So if you're within that, then you can drop within 1 club length knee height drop. Please look careful for your tees. You're playing black all the way around today. Any rules issues, please play 2 balls and we'll give you a ruling inside. Please keep it with play provisions as necessary. The rough isn't as bad as it looks actually, but you can still lose them out there, so if you don't see it bounce, please play a provisional just in case. Save the walk back, and next week's event at Bolton's actually been cancelled, so we've now got space available at Howley Hall in 2 weeks' time. Okay, so it will be Adam to go first, then Jack, and then Craig.
Here we go.
Good morning everyone, and welcome to Rockcliffe Hall Golf Club and the 2020 Pro Tour. This is the Golf Travel People Masters. This is the 9:10 tee time. First to play, Adam Rochester.
Get out there. Get out there. Yep.
Next
Fine.
on the tee, Jack Truitt. Right.
Oh.
And finally on the tee, Craig Hare. Yeah. Well, guys,
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, so we've actually got a feature coming up for you now as well. We're going to head up to the driving range. We're going to catch up with Chris. We're going to do a ORKA driver fitting very shortly. Before we head up, of course, just remind people this is, of course, the Golf Travel People Trio. It's part 3. It's the 3rd major of the year, and the player who gets the lowest net score from the 3 tournaments we've had so far, this is the 3rd and final, wins a bonus £750. Not to be sniffed at.
No.
We have to get ourselves in a buggy, Aaron. Interestingly, I just noticed whilst we make our way up there, Craig played the new Shrixon Divide Ball. What do you think about the yellow and red? What do you think?
Well,
As a pro yourself, where do you stand on it?
I've got the yellow and blue Strixons in the shop that we sell to our members, and they're great for putting.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a great way to look at your putt and how you are putting, and what the club face is doing an impact, how square you're hitting it, but also where your alignment is at. Good little phase. Yeah, we'll see. But it's a good initiation from each of the companies to give something new to the golf ball.
I'm a bit of a Shrixon fan.
You're a bit of a Shrixon fan.
Not the clubs, because I can't play the clubs. I'm not good enough. But you can hop on the back now. But I've always been a bit of a fan, and I like the quirkiness, and I like coloured golf balls as well. I'm a big fan of the TrueViz balls.
TrueViz. I played those Callaway TrueVizes for about 3 or 4 years. When the Socceroos made the World Cup a couple of years ago, they brought a yellow and green Australian Callaway TrueViz golf ball out, and I played that for many years until they stopped. When Australia didn't make the next World Cup.
The next World Cup. Sorry, Aaron. Sorry. Who knows? Maybe you'll be heading to Qatar. Who knows?
Well, they should bring out an English one, I reckon.
Yeah. Might need to win something first, but.
Well, they got close at the Euros.
Yeah, very, very true. The thing is, though, Aaron, for England qualifying, that's just a given, really. It's. I know it's a big thing for some other countries, just qualifying for a major tournament.
Like Australia.
Hey, you said that, not me. I'm a big fan of Australia, you know that, so I would never say stuff like that. There we go. Right, we're just making our way down to the range here at Rockcliffe Hall. Here we are. You can see the ORKA van as well. We're going to join former European Tour player Chris Hansen. He's going to make it back, isn't he? He's going to be back on the European
The way
Tour.
he swings it.
He's too good, isn't he? As he said, first big tournament back for a long time on a Challenge Tour over the weekend, made the cut, finished tied 50 or so, but it doesn't really matter, does it? He's still right up there. And as if by magic, you're going to join us very, very short. I think, are we going in this way, Aaron? Or is he off for a call of nature? No, he's not. He's generally going in this way. So we're going to head on through. Fingers crossed. Okay, we can probably walk around and we're just going to stay outside because the signal matters. Yeah, as I said before, big event here. We've also got a little promo image to show you as well because, as I said, part of the trio, the leading player who gets the lowest net score across the 3 events that we've had so far will win at £750. There's also a Rose Series berth up for grabs as well, so there's quite a lot on the line here today at Rockcliffe. We're right in the heart of the action, as we always are, of course. I'm just going to see if I can head round. Here they are. You might be wondering why we're coming in this way. We're just trying to stay outside so we don't lose signal by walking in and around. Let's take it down because here we are at the driving range. I'm going to hand the mic over because I believe we're going to do something quite special with Mr. Hansen now.
That's correct. So today we've got Chris in for a driver fitting. So what we're going to do, the way the process works is we'll get Chris to hit a number of balls with his own driver, try and get a good selection of, half a dozen like quality hits, which shouldn't take you too long. So we can get a fair reflection on how that driver's performing. We'll go through the numbers, kind of typically what we would like to see to optimise the performance from his driver, but then also with Chris obviously playing professionally, we want to find out what he likes to see on the course. Yeah. So it's about how that feels for him, how he sees the ball coming out, and what he wants to do on the course with it. So it's not all just about numbers when you get to this stage, but we obviously want to get that performance out of it. So we've got GC2 set up here. We've been optimising the range ball, so we know where we are with spin. So Chris, you're going to take us away and let's see. Yeah,
try. Just going to ask a couple of questions because obviously, Chris, we've got a lot of players and a lot of members of golf clubs you watch, and obviously me being club pro, it's really cool to watch. But explain. Obviously, I go through a lot this with my members at my golf club. But tell the guys that are watching how important the spin rate is when you get a driver in the relation with getting the right shaft. Because obviously, if you have a shaft that's like too whippy or a bit light on, or the tip's a bit soft, you're going to get more spin, which obviously gets loft. It looks great, but dramatically loses distance.
You would typically, you do see a lot of that with club golfers, as your kind of example leans towards. And what people will most likely, if they haven't been on a launch monitor or had a fitting, they would identify that as they hit the ball really far downwind and then into the wind it goes nowhere. Yeah. So they'll just see the ball sort of balloon up into the air. Aeroplane taking off. But then downwind, there's a massive disparity between the two. Yeah. So being able to hit that window, it's, you hear this sort of high launch, low spin being bandied about on Sky Sports. That's to get the ball just basically staying in the air. And
what's your opinion on spin rate? Which a window? What do you think? Because obviously everyone's different. It's
all really a balance. So a lot of that comes down to speed and your angle of attack into the ball. So, we've had some fittings. We've fitted Adam, who also was with the tour before. Adam's quite steep and he likes to see it come out low. A bit more control. I think he's a bit fearful of hitting it up too high, but he had some great numbers where for him he was launching it at 10 degrees. Typically we'd like to see it a little bit higher than that, but that's like what he likes to see it come out. And 2,300 RPMs of backspin. Yeah. Which basically meant for him that it was still moving forward without ballooning.
Yeah. But getting lift.
He's got a lot of speed, hasn't he?
He's got a lot of speed. So you would, I would just say you would see people talking about Bubba Watson had like really high launch and 1,600 RPMs of spin. Yeah. Very difficult to control that. Yeah. So if that starts to move either way, it can get going. So
hence the reason why he doesn't play a straight ball.
Yeah, exactly. So a little bit of spin for someone with Adam's speed was actually helpful. So if we see those numbers drop off, you can see the ball dive out the sky when it gets too low. But
Chris, what kind of do you like? a high launching drive? Like obviously you play a little left to right fade. Do you try and continue to keep that stock shot, or obviously we can play it both ways, but you like to keep that stock shot going of a little left to right?
It's weird. I don't try ever see it go left to right. I actually try and draw it, but don't really draw it. So I just try and hit it high. For me to get the best out of a driver and to hit better shots, I have to try and hit it high. Then into the wind, I struggle visually trying to hit it high, and I always resort to low, and then I hit bad shots. I just can never trust myself to hit it up in the sky into the wind. I've just grown up playing in wind, so like this week, get me on a right to left wind, down off the right, it feels perfect. Get me on a left to right wind, really struggle at the moment, but that's just my little mental battle.
That's a bit of comfort to everybody who's watching, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Should we hit some?
yeah, let's go away, yeah. So we're all good to go, so...
Yes, I actually drove it quite well this week. The wind was off the right, but my feeling, I always feel like my practice swing, I feel like I'm making a big draw swing and trying to hit it up. So
I did see that yesterday when Ian got you on the first tee. You had your right foot back and you were taking your takeaway on the inside.
It's a good example for people of feel versus real.
Yeah.
You know, so... I mean, that is tidy.
for me, that was probably a bit up on spin and down on the carry, just through strike, I think.
So my technical just disconnected from the Bluetooth.
Yep, there you go.
So it's not too shabby. We'll just step in here and like.
Well, it was very.
That was actually down on speed, but
yeah. So the quality of the hit.
So club speed, Chris, with your driver, what are you getting at? 110.
116 to 118 probably.
116, 118.
A decent speed for me. Yeah. I got to the magic 120 once, but never again. That was a while ago.
Is there a certain feel you try and have? Obviously, you do that little pre-shot routine of right foot back and feeling the club on a swing path. Is there a certain path you want to try and feel on the way through?
I just try and feel like I'm swinging out to the right, like here, trying to hit a draw, but never do. That was my bad shot.
A little blocky right.
So with this, the club that you've got set up at the minute, we've got it's a pretty strong shaft that you've got in at the minute.
To be honest, I'm not too sure, mate.
Yeah, line like that.
Blue Ventus.
Yeah, so really it's quite strong, so it's designed to be sort of stiffer at the tip, so the head isn't actually adding too much loft, so keeping it really stable.
Yeah.
Just crank down to 8.5.
Yeah,
And that's where you get a lot of stock. All the companies, the stock shafts are a lot weaker and softer at the tip, which
so
gives flick at impact.
It's going to add loft. And, you know, so.
That's my very necky, heely safe shot, which I hate with passion.
I think so. If we get just a couple more shots from you, you know, it's pretty as you would expect from someone who
consistent ball flights.
Yeah, those goals flying out a
Launch
nice
angles
window.
are all pretty standard, pretty consistent. Sorry. There we go.
That'll definitely work on the course.
That one will definitely work on the golf course.
Yeah, so that's probably like where I feel like I've shut it down a little bit.
Yeah,
you
can just see that little bit of turn there. Yeah. Okay.
The ball speed went up and spin went down.
We'll get we'll have one more from you, and then we'll dive into the numbers. Okay.
I just feel like I stand further away from it just to try and get more towards the toe of the club. I try and get my misses to be out the toe instead of just keep healing them.
Yeah,
That little baby
there's a
draw.
lot to be said for that.
Yeah.
It's good. I mean, we've been reading some of the data. I'm sure you've been spying it as you've been coming up there. So getting into that, launching around 11 degrees typically, sort of 10.5 to 11 degrees. So sometimes we can get that launching a little bit higher. But it's good that you're very aware of the ones that spin a little bit less and flight a little bit more. So what we're going to look at is, distance-wise, very consistent still, but we're going to look at a couple of options based on what loft and characteristics you've got in now. I'll just hand this off for a second to my able assistant. Right, so what we're going to do is I'm just going to try and build you up a driver.
Yep.
Don't particularly want you to look at what it is, what specs and things there are. So it's really like a true test, because once you have an idea of what different shafts are, you tend to try and react to it. So we do this. Yeah, we do this with every golfer really. So first thing they want to do is go, oh, is that a stiff or is that a regular? And then hit it accordingly.
It's about feel as well. From a player's point of view, the shaft, you've got to you want to feel the head. When you play your clubs, do you like to feel the head, feel a bit of a weight in the head, like feel the head, which in other words a lighter shaft?
You know what? I've never been particularly. I don't know. I couldn't tell you what I actually like, whether I like it heavy or light. I guess when you hold something, you just kind of know, don't you? It's not really.
Okay, so there we are. Let's have our first try at that. So obviously you get some first impressions and things from the head, and our head's pretty classic looking.
Yeah, it's standard shape, isn't it?
Yeah. So.
I don't know if I don't feel like. I don't know.
Yeah.
From a player's point of view, obviously, when I do club fittings, the first thing I say when I say, right, well, try this head, what's it look like?
Yeah.
Because, do you agree when you put the club down, you've got to like the look of it? If you don't, well, then you got to try something else?
Absolutely. So, I take it back a few years ago when certain companies started doing square heads. And it became quite a big thing in popularity.
Nike, Callaway, yep.
Yeah, well, you can mention them, yeah. We don't say that stuff around here. But yeah, I just couldn't get away with it. So even though people were saying it's good performance, wasn't for me. So it's a classic example there with first shot, different feeling, probably swing weight.
Yeah.
It's not what it used to, so. But we just need to hit a few balls, because sometimes with the look you can know straight away.
Yeah.
But in feel we've got to build that up. So.
The shaft just feels like softer.
Yeah.
Softer, yeah.
Yeah, it feels. I feel like I can. When I'm over it, I can feel it.
Whipping.
Yeah. So that extra stability that you had before. Okay, well, we'll give it a couple of goes because we need to see where we're at, and then we can move our way in from there. Okay. Yeah, so you see there's that adjustment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you kind of.
Which is coming. So just see a couple more shots from you with this one, because I mean the figures on that sort of suddenly dramatically jumped up back to.
So you start adapting. So Chris mentions that it's a bit softer in the tip, which is going to give a little bit more movement to the head. So now he's just adjusting his swing a little bit in the ways of. I would probably say that the swing speed would be down just a margin.
Yeah. So.
Which would mean he's just slowed his swing down.
Obviously, giving Chris this for a reason.
Yeah.
Is that I think in terms of numbers wise, we're just launching that little bit lower than what we like to see.
Yeah.
So giving him something that's it's very stable shaft it's just going to feel that little bit lighter, a little bit softer, which
yeah.
you know is
It actually feels shorter, but it's not.
yeah,
Head might be deeper.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, so we're actually seeing that launch start to creep up from what he was using before.
Yeah.
So it's more like a degree.
Yeah.
But that can
It is.
that can when we're at this stage we're picking
we're
it's just
tweaking.
tweaks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can almost see the launch there. So
Yeah.
I think it does feel shorter, but it's not shorter, which is quite nice because it feels.
You got more control.
what's
feels
it,
like a short club, but it's the same length. Which
Yeah.
is good, isn't it?
What's in-
It feels like a 3-wood, but it's not. It's the same length.
so what's interesting is we could have easily just binned that off after the first 2 shots. So thinking this doesn't feel the same, and you've actually just hit your longest ball with probably the most optimum launch.
I was going to say you're launching it at a way better angle than you were with your own driver.
Yeah. So it's almost like we've done this before. You know, it's. Yeah, so even there, you know, it's carried 298, which is like the longest with yours. So what we could have done is give Chris a shaft which is exactly the same as the one that he's got.
Yeah.
And then the performance would be probably exactly the same.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just finding, can he find comfort in options that are, you know, going to give him more performance, but it's where's your safety net on the course, you know. So. Yeah, so it's
And that would be that'd be right half of the fairway.
Hasn't really changed the numbers, to be fair.
from where you're aiming, we've got that as being like 3-4 yards right of your target,
Yeah.
and still carrying 295 yards, which is
where his
pretty impressive. So, I mean, we've got a good selection of shots there. So, yeah, you can. What we'll do is we'll just try a different option because, you know, that's pretty good. Would I feel happy if Chris was happy for him to take it out on the course?
Yeah,
absolutely. But what we'll do is, Chris, if I can nab that off you, I know you're dying to hit another one.
Now, what degree loft was that? Was that
So it's
9?
actually a 9.
That was a 9
It's
degree.
got slight. So Chris's was turned down to 8.5. So
Right.
we're adding a little bit more loft to try and get that launch up as well.
But
So
it
it's
hasn't affected the spin, really, has it?
yeah, it's just a balance between the shaft and the loft on the head. So what we're going to do, it's going to move into a different option, which might be, you know, well, it'd be interesting to get your thoughts on it when you hit it. And we may find ourselves coming back. Unfortunately, the thing is, with TV nowadays, people start to recognise shafts. So Chris probably knows what this is already, but works for the world number 1. So
Yeah.
yeah, okay. So this one, it's really just a case of, you know, suck it and see. So
Okay, so this is the next flex.
I'm not going to tell him yet.
Okay.
Yeah. Just
Let
get
him,
his-
let him hit it.
Yeah, let's let him hit it.
Let him get the feel of it.
So, unfortunately, typically the answer to that question is they're pretty much all going to be X-Flex
Right.
with this kind of speed. I mean, you can, with the way, you know, we've got Alex here who's our Mr. ORKA. Yeah,
Mr.
so I
ORKA.
don't know whether he likes that title or not, but that's the one we're giving him.
Straight away I did that shot and go, let's point up the shaft. Just
Yeah.
to fit him. But I could have hit it out the toe and hit that, but I mean, that's the golf shot I don't want to see. Don't get me wrong, I hit that with that club last week as well, so it's partly player.
Yeah, so what we're really trying to do is, because Chris is so consistent, when you're looking at what shaft to put him in, you can't, with doing this quite a lot and obviously working with our equipment a lot, you have a very good idea of probably what he's going to end up in.
Yeah. You can.
But-
Your intuitions.
what you'd like to see, if you could, especially for people watching, if you go for a fitting, you want to see the fitter try and test the two sides of that. So if they find something that's, you know, pretty good straight away, let's just see if there's something else.
Yeah.
Because you can always come back to it.
Exactly right. Yeah. No, I totally agree.
So again, so what's Chris? I mean, what's really important is how do you feel after you've hit? You know, you've hit 3 balls there. What's your thoughts?
I haven't hit one great yet, but that last one went quite a long way. To be fair.
Yeah, so that's the longest that you've hit so far. So
Longest carry. Yeah.
So there's a reason for that, is that we've actually gone slightly lighter, so you're going to get a little bit more speed. So it's whether Chris feels like he can control that speed, especially under the gun, you know. So
because with a lighter shaft, your better players will probably increase by 5-10% if there's a lighter shaft.
yes, I mean, in this case, it's only actually 5 grams, but in terms of the feeling behind that, it can be.
Now that was good.
Yeah, I mean, again, so.
Best one by far.
Yeah, and that was your longest carry by far.
But
Also pretty optimal launch as well.
Launch and, you know, spin with the
Other
balls that we use.
than your first tee shot where you said that was the bad one you hit, the last 3 tee shots have all been pretty.
What were the numbers on that, Aaron?
Well, the numbers on the last shot was 10.5 launch, 303 carry.
Yeah, and
it was just
really
over
about 2,000 spin.
Yeah, yeah.
So 10.6 degrees of launch.
10.6, yeah.
Pretty manageable.
Yeah.
172 ball speed, pretty fast.
Yeah.
172 ball speed.
Try and shift one there.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah. So again,
So ball speed's probably gone up a bit, but
it's a bit extra height, bit higher launch.
High launch, further carry.
Longer carry.
Yeah.
You know.
309 carry on that one.
So I think what.
it feels fast, to be fair.
Yeah.
I think it's nice to try and hit one and actually go further.
Yeah, and not be off the mat.
Yeah.
I think what's really important for people is that, again, if you go for a fitting, you know, in this case, if Chris feels like he can control it, then this is probably going to be the best driver for him.
Yeah.
But it's not always the longest driver.
No.
It's the best one.
Yeah, exactly right.
You know?
Bit of a myth, if you can answer me this one, I had.
Fastest ball speed.
So again, you know, if we go, I'll just do a quick comparison here. So on average, you've gained 10 yards of carry so far from your own driver. You know, in the launch conditions, see with this one, well actually if I take away the first one that you didn't like, we're up on our launch more into our sort of optimum zone of what we're looking to maximise performance anyway.
.9. Yeah, so nice launch angle, 1800 spin rate, and 307 yards carry.
Yeah, and we're looking in those. It's really consistent. So, I mean, now that you've hit a few, looking from the first shaft to this one.
We're just gonna show Leon while Chris is hitting.
Probably does feel better when I think as soon as you hit one good one,
So-
you get a bit of confidence from it, don't you?
Yeah.
And I felt like I could start going harder at it. It's
Right, so
worked quite well.
this is the current driver that Chris is hitting now. So you can see the ball speed up the left-hand side here. So he's averaging, about 171 miles per hour with this club speed. You can see the backspin is what we've been talking about in the ways of the spin rate. Now that spin rate's also going to give us a little bit of that launch. But then over this one, this is where the big one is. So this is your carry, and we've been averaging over these last 7 shots now. He's averaging 304. Now if I move down to his driver, you can see we're about 290. So Chris has actually gained about 14 yards of carry alone from his driver to now this new driver with this new shaft, with the new shaft, and it's sitting at 9 degrees. So, and then if we look at the second driver he hit, he was averaging 292. So again, from his driver to the first driver he tried to the current driver he's hitting, he's increased a more consistent launch angle, a lot more consistent in the ways of backspin, but he's dramatically increased his carry speed on the golf course, which is obviously going to give him a lot more distance. So that's some very good information there.
Yeah.
I don't mind seeing super low spin as long as you're launching it.
Yeah, exactly.
When you see people who can't launch at low spin, they're in.
You got not like the side spin, so it's great. So what I think we'll do is, just because I actually have it with us, is my driver.
Yeah.
So it's the first one that you tried. So rather than fitting head, it's glued in head. So now we're going to go back to that. It'll be interesting to see, having hit this one, got that performance. So what was the favourite? Let's see if it still is the case. So.
So I suppose to Adam earlier, he said it sounds a little bit different when it's not.
Yeah, so when we make fitting heads, and Alex will tell you, because we have to bore the hosel out to put in the screws, so that it can interchange the shafts, it makes a slightly different sound. So a little bit higher pitched with fitting heads.
Does that change any swing weights or anything, or in the weightings of the heads?
The way
the fitting will add a swing weight.
Yep.
You can't get away from it.
Yeah.
But we counter that with how it's built, and if Chris ends up going with a thicker grip, that'll change the swing weight.
Of course.
The length changes the swing weight.
Of course.
So.
Well, this one will be our driver, is that?
What's interesting is you go in between clubs. It's you pick up a different club. I feel like if you've got in a rhythm.
Yeah, it's weird.
Where you get used to it. So the first shot with the last one, which has the best performance, wasn't. Chris said, "I don't like to see that." You know, so. There you go. Amazing. So we thought the second shaft was dead in the water straight away.
Yeah.
It's actually ended up,
being a lot more consistent and a lot better.
I think it's weird, like the grip's totally different.
Yeah.
I don't use a line. So even just
We can put you back in the fitting head, but I think what's really interesting with feel is, like, I'm 6'5".
Yeah.
So when I got my clubs lengthened when I was younger, it made the swing weights very heavy. So now I only feel comfortable with really heavy clubs.
Heavy clubs.
Yeah. Even though it's different.
Oh,
but
you can have that one back.
yeah, we'll use that one. Yeah, well, I think we've found really a clear winner.
Yeah.
And the fact that he wants to pick it up again and go straight back
straight
and
away.
hit balls with it.
It shows you.
Probably made me aware that probably like it a bit lighter as well.
Yep.
Yeah, as soon as I pick that back up, it does feel lighter.
More control, or do you feel like you have more control of your swing, Chris, with a lighter shaft?
I just feel like maybe it's give it a bit more of a smack, I think.
Weight is so important.
Yeah. Straight away.
There you go.
Yeah. There you go.
So-
First one.
Yeah, we really need to kind of, because if we looked at the numbers, even though that one performance-wise was, for me, hands down the winner.
Yeah.
Because you like the other one so much, it's important to go back and test.
So straight away, pretty much from your driver, Chris, to that one that you're happy with, that you want to move forward with, you've gained 10 yards in carry, and
a little bit more launch.
Without trying, though, really.
Without trying.
Just swinging the same.
Yeah.
A little bit more off on it, the spin kind of stayed down.
So even for tour pros, the end of, like, finding out that a correct shaft, also you can gain 10 yards. Like, Chris has got a very consistent swing, but he's just gained 10 yards from a little change in the shaft.
I think as well, so Chris has been, so which company he's from, Chris has been fitted for that driver as well.
Yeah.
So, if you can imagine your average person in the street who may have bought one off eBay, picked one up, just off the rack, that's how much the fitting can benefit you. So a player like Chris is very consistent, had fitted stuff before, when we optimise it, gets even better.
Can you answer a question for me? Just one last one.
I'll
Ian.
try.
Is I have a few members. I mean, it's a myth that I know that it'd be great to get your opinion as well. But I get members that are 50 and 60 years of age and all that stuff, and they come in, and I had one member come in yesterday saying he hits it too high. Right now, I've seen the way he doesn't hit too high, but then comes in and says, "Oh, can you just dial my driver down?" Yeah. What's your opinion, or what can you say? Hey, look, don't do that, or it's probably not a great thing to do.
Yeah, we see. I mean, what was interesting, we did a members trip to a tour event, and the one thing that they all came back with was, "I can't believe how high they hit it." And it was a Scottish Open, and it was Ricky Fowler. I think Ricky Fowler won that year. Yeah. And they were amazed that, and they were sort of saying, even on links, he's hitting it that high. And they like to almost equate like a lot of run with distance, when if they can actually fly it through the air, you know, a lot of the times we'll be saying to them, look, you know, if there's a bunker, you know, you can use this example playing here at Rockcliffe Hall. There's a lot of bunkers where you go, right, that's 250. You can't run it through the bunker. No. You've got to be able to carry it over the bunker. So that's where the advantage comes. So it's that, you know, the training's so much better now. Really, through a lot of companies, obviously we do certifications ourselves. We can see it's really quite straightforward. Yeah. When you go through it. Yeah. But for the average golfer, you know, launching it higher. Carry is more important. Carry is what we're after.
That's how we were taught in Australia. Yeah. Because obviously in Australia, that's how we went through all of our amateur days, and then when we were taught through our PGA, is you want to get the ball launching. Yeah. The higher the ball's going, you can adjust your swing. You can manipulate the golf swing. But you're going to get more carry, more loft.
To bring it all back to a question that you said earlier, is that, you know, with improperly fitted equipment and that's spinning up into the wind, that's what they're afraid of. Yeah. Go and get fitted, you can hit it high and it'll just cut straight through it. Yeah. So
brilliant. Fantastic stuff. Thank you very much, Chris. You better get ready, haven't you? You're teeing off shortly, and Aaron, you're not too far away either.
Yes, mate, I might have to go get my sticks and have a bit of a warm up myself.
You better go get your sticks. A huge thank you there to Orca Golf. If you do want to find out more, do go to www.orkagolf.com. It's well worth checking out. I can tell you that. They do it properly, don't they, Aaron?
Oh, they really certainly do, mate.
And you know as well how important it is to get fitted. If you are like myself, a sort of mid to high, around about 20 handicapper, getting fitted could get a few shots off quickly.
Absolutely. I mean, even with like you and I being exactly the same height, it's important for us, and even him being 6'5", our golf clubs need to be built for us. So our hands are going to be lower to the ground, which means when we step to the golf ball, our hands are a lot lower, which means that lie angle needs to be flatter, whereas you increase it a little bit upright. So yeah, definitely, it's very important to get the right lie angles, the right lofts, but also the right shafts. But again, it's that myth of, I need to dial my driver down so I can get lower ball flights to get more distance, whereas actually the more you get the ball up in the air, the further it goes.
We do have a habit of spending time around people who are a lot taller than us, don't we?
Yes, I know.
There we go.
Tell me about it.
Right, we are going to head off to a short break. Don't forget, it is the 2020 Pro Tour live here at Rockcliffe Hall. It's the Golf Travel People Trio, Part 3. The player who gets the lowest net score from the 3 events we've had, this is the third and final so far, will win a bonus £750. There's also a start on the Rose Ladies Series for one of the ladies today, which is quite good, isn't it? It's the event happening on the 23rd of September. We're going to go get ourselves a nice cup of coffee, I think. Aaron, you better get yourself warmed up.
Yes,
Best of luck out there today.
Thank you, mate.
We will catch up with you out on the course, no doubt about
that.
Look
forward to it.
And when we come back, we're going to do a bit of hole-in-one hunting live out on the course. We're going to get right into the heart of the action. Don't go too far. We'll be back live soon. Thank you.